Hey, what's up, guys? TAWphoenix here. I'm going to be doing a PvZ analysis on the map Shattered Temple. The player here that we're going to be looking at is Irlevesky. His in-game name is obviously Early. I hope I got that right. I think he's a European player. So he's going to be playing against a Protoss. His name is going to be Sky, and it's a PvZ on the map Shattered Temple. So we're just going to jump right into this. See our Zerg player here. A little bit of a misclick right here, obviously. Big problem. I mean, maybe it doesn't seem that big, but it actually is, because that's like 5 seconds of mining time lost. You could have gotten things out a lot earlier, but it's okay. I mean, nothing too bad. It's just you gotta watch out for that. I like the fact that you try doing a worker spread. A lot of low league players aren't really that good at doing that. They kind of just click on the workers and send them to one mineral field, and it's longer to mine. But if you spread them out, if you get good with that, it kind of it cuts your mining time. It reduces like the time that the drone gets to the mineral field. So just a little thing there. We are going to be seeing the Protoss player here is going to be laying down a pylon next to his naturals. So this could open up a bunch of options here. Forge fast expand. He could just be going in and getting an early wall off to expand as well. So we're most likely going to be seeing a Forge fast expand. He does go ahead and he scouts at the wrong area, actually. On a map like Shattered Temple, and on most maps, you usually don't spawn like right close to your opponent, because it just has macro issues and late game issues. If you want to expand, you basically have to fight your opponent for this base and for the base up here. While these bases are technically being unused, so it creates a big mishap. But anyway, that's not the case. Usually it's like a left versus right kind of a map. But anyway, we do see that Early did go ahead and scout where the Protoss player was at. He is going to go over here, though, because he noticed that there are no buildings over here on the Protoss base. So he's going to go ahead and he is going to scout this. There it is right there. He does see the forge. As soon as you see that forge, you're going to think, okay, he's going for an expansion. He's going to go get cannons and stuff. So probably not going to get any gas anytime soon. So one thing you need to do, is obviously you've got the spawning pool out, which is good. Just remember, when you see him doing something like this, he's going to be playing very, very defensively. He's going to be getting cannons. So you need to make sure you have map control whenever you are playing against a Protoss player that does this. So we are going to see you are at 20 food so far with 275. You're getting queens and zergling out. I'm going to pause it real fast. Look, you went for... I think you're going for a 15 hatch, but something that I noticed that you did was you probably should have gotten that a lot earlier. I noticed right here, this Overlord should not have been built before your second hatch. One thing it does is that obviously you were a little too late on this hatch, basically. I think one reason was because you spent 100 minerals on this Overlord. Didn't really need to do that until after you laid the hatch down. You got Zerglings out, which was nice, spawning pool. Whenever you lay the spawning pool down before the hatchery, you always want to make sure you get out Zerglings. You definitely want to follow up, if you're going to expand, you want to follow up on getting a refinery, or an extractor. Because then you're going to get gas, and you probably want to go ahead and research metabolic boost. You want to make sure you're aggressive, especially when your Protoss player is doing a Forge fast expand. Because he's going to get cannons, he's going to get zealots, stuff like that. So the fact that he's getting zealots isn't going to mean anything for you. You're obviously going to have a lot more layings at this point, because he's going to be focusing on getting his economy up and stuff. So we're going to play it right here. One thing that I'm going to point right here is there is a hidden drone right there. And he is, in fact, going to be doing a cannon rush. Not really a cannon rush, more of just a cannon placement / harassment, I guess. He's going to try and deny the Zerg player from getting this second up. So the Protoss player is well aware that he's going for a hatcher right now. So he's going to go ahead and get some cannons out soon. But we do see the Protoss player is in fact going for that expand. This right here, I'm gonna point it out right now. He's getting 2 cannons. This right here definitely should have been prevented. One way you could do that is, I mean, like I said, you have map control. You know your Protoss players can be playing very defensively. Get these lings out. Get some scouting done. You need to scout for proxying. You need to scout for anything like this. I mean, this really could have been avoided. Another thing is, you know, you're obviously not going to scout down here with your Zerglings unless if you feel like you need to. What a lot of Zerg players do in Terran games or Protoss games is if they're going to expand early, in which they have to, it's pretty common. They usually put the Overlord around here somewhere. And what this does is the Overlord will obviously provide sight. And you probably would have been able to see this going on, and you could have prevented it from being built by your Zerglings. Another thing that I noticed is, even though you laid down your hatchery, and this thing was built, you look like you started putting workers into the extractor, your mineral count was still really, really high. I mean, in early game, you really want to keep your mineral rate low. I know in a PvZ game, you tend to keep it a little higher just to kind of, have better timings when you get things out, but like I said, once again, your Protoss player is playing defensively. You know he's going to get a second base up. That's a fact. So you need to assume that he's got a second base up at the time. You need to make sure you just keep pressure on him. I mean, while expanding, obviously, you don't want to you don't want to change your strategy up and in the mid game when the guy's got an early expansion down. But get more Zerglings out. Go ahead, do that. And then when you get your expansion down, eventually you want to lay down, usually like a 22 extractor would be pretty good, like at 22 food. That or just, like I said, constantly get out more Zerglings or something like that. So, going to keep playing it here. As you can tell, the Protoss player did not get any units out at the time. He was mainly just saving for that Nexus. You scouted over here, which was nice. You kind of noticed he didn't have a Vespene over here, or I mean a assimilator, and I don't think well, I guess you kind of realized that this one wasn't being mined. One thing that you probably should have realized was he's still, without gas. You got to assume he's got 2 cannons. You got to assume he's doing something crazy like this. You got to assume he's going for heavy zealots, but you kind of notice he didn't have any zealots. But like I said, once again, you need to make sure you scout with these Zerglings next time. You're just keeping them back at the base, and they have no knowledge of what's going on. The cannons do complete, obviously, and unfortunately, your hatchery was nearly complete. So this is like a big, I don't know, like it's a critical situation where these cannons are doing a lot of damage to your hatchery at the time. And it's nearly complete too because it gives you want to think either I'm going to let it complete and try and defend it as best as I can with the amount of Zerglings and the Queen that I have. But the problem is if your attack fails, this hatchery is going to go down. But since it was nearly completed, it kind of puts you in a sticky position. So anyway, I guess it was in your situation. It's kind of best that you did cancel it. However, you pretty much put yourself behind massively, because in this situation you only had 4 lings and a queen. That would have done nothing to this right here. But all in all, if you would have scouted this, you would have prevented them, the Protoss player, from doing any of this, and then you probably would have gotten this out a lot easier. So next time, just remember to scout. Put your Overlord around here somewhere if you plan on expanding. Get the Zerglings out, get some map control going. I mean, if you notice the Protoss players getting Stalker, Zealot, something like that, then you should play a little more passively, or you don't want to play aggressive when he's massing out mobile units. If he's getting cannons, if you know he's doing the Forge Fast expand, you're free to roam around. You're even free to get a third, because as soon as he gets that second up, you're gonna want to get a third ASAP, just so you can keep up with your economy. So, unfortunately, you do decide to cancel it. I mean, like I said, it puts you in a bad situation, and he cancels that right there. But he actually couldn't get out. That's why. So yeah. So he cancels this, and one thing that he noticed that you did was, I think he noticed you were going over here. See this? Another thing I'm going to point out. As soon as you lay this hatchery down, he's got that probe already en route. He's already got her all rallied. He just wants to scout. But he's going to see this, and you know what he's going to do is he's got no gas. He's just probing up right now. He's getting probes, and you don't even see any zealots. So he's going to keep constantly putting pressure on you. This right here, you should have definitely killed with these Zerglings. I know you really couldn't have known he moved it out at some point, but once again, having this Overlord anywhere around here would definitely could have given you some vision. So, gonna play it, and I think you even might have even seen this probe over here when he goes by the base. So, but your mineral count is also really high too. You're at 800, almost 900. And you're only 6 minutes in the game. That's not good. You need to just remember to constantly produce more drones. You know, I see you're getting a Roach Warren. Just get some Zerglings out. You kind of look like you're getting just straight up drones right now, which is fine. I'm gonna open this up here. You get metabolic boost, which is nice. Another thing I'm gonna point out is you're getting metabolic boost and you're getting a Roach Warren on technically one base. Well, yeah, pretty much one base. It's not that good to do because you're spending too much money on 2 different units. One thing I would have recommended if you probably just get out Mass Ling with metabolic boost at this point in the game, because like I said, you know, your player's playing defensively, stuff like that. You know, you got complete map control right now. This thing is almost done. I mean, you kind of have more vision than the Protoss player, but gonna play it here. But you know that you also noticed, I think you noticed the probe was around here too. I don't know, but as you can tell, he's gonna do the same thing on this base too. So once again, it puts you in a bad position. Let's see here. I'm gonna just fast forward a tiny bit. You do have roaches coming out, which is, you know, good for at the time, but for something like this right here, he had the cannons in a really good spot, so it would have been really hard for the Zerglings, obviously, to get around here. So one thing that, you know, you did was, I think he sent the roaches out. I'm gonna just play it anyway, but you got cannon harassed over here as well. You know, but like I said, you just gotta scout this stuff next time. Get the Zerglings out. See this? Your Zerglings here, you're already working on getting your third, so just worry about your second base right now. I think you're worrying too much about getting your third up because you want to get back with your economy. But anyway, I'm gonna play this here. One thing you should have done was maybe had a better rally point with these units here, because I can kind of tell you put them in a bad kind of like little trail here, because when they get here, they're going to be taking a lot of fire from these cannons. What you want to do next time is see how you're focusing down on these cannons. Like, I mean, I kind of figured you know not to focus down the cannons. You kind of want to go for the pylon, but this right here was really not good because all these roaches died and you only killed one cannon. And then you focus on the pylon. So you should have focused on the pylon the whole time, and that would have saved a lot of roaches, mining time, and this hatchery. So that's pretty much it. Eventually it roaches out to take out the pylon, which is good. So, but that's just, you know, just little things you gotta realize. You know, take out the pylon next time. I'm pretty sure you would have known that. And so once again, going up to your mineral rate and your Vespene rate, you're pretty high. I assume you're gonna get another third expansion over here. You mentioned you had an issue with defensive playing. You know, at this point, and you get the layer. See, this is another thing. I disagree with this. You really should not have gotten this layer out whatsoever at the time. Focus on just have the hatchery. Get your third up first. I honestly think you should have gotten this up first before researching your layer. That probably would have just helped you with maybe not droning up more, but with just having more money. And more gas and stuff. I mean, you're already in an okay situation, but over here you could have gotten a queen out a lot faster. You could have gotten out more drones, just catch back up, because you need to realize that your Protoss player is still on 2 base, and he's not doing all that much. He's just playing defensively. So you get the third down, which is good, but you're still you're at a high mineral and Vespene gas rate. Just spend that money. Get more Zerglings. You researched Metabolic Boost for technically 2 Zerglings. See?